Very good morning, participants, and I welcome for this webinar on recent trends in machine learning and deep learning. So today we are starting the first session. So this is my institute, where my institute is accredited with NAAC, as well as my department is accredited with NBA. And before starting the session 1, that is before getting into the subject, I would like to discuss what are all the topics which we are going to discuss in this session. So first we are going to discuss about roadmap and top 10 applications technology which is going to dominate from 2020 onwards. And then we are going to discuss about the introduction of artificial intelligence and the types and history of artificial intelligence, and how this artificial intelligence explode in different areas. What is the meaning of fusion computing technology and its enhancement, and how we differentiate artificial intelligence versus machine learning and with deep learning. And also we are going to discuss different types of machine learning techniques. And another important concept, before processing any data or before predicting any information, so we need to process the data, that is called data pre-processing, and how this data pre-processing can be done with Python libraries. And we are going to see, after the theoretical part, we are going to see how it can be, the data processing and cleaning can be done by using a Python libraries. So these are the agenda of this first session. So before getting into topic, I wanted to discuss, especially for my dear students, participants, as well as the research scholars and even the faculty members, faculty fraternity. So these are the route map for achieving a data scientist. So here, so why I am telling this, everything in future, everything is integrated with artificial intelligence. So not only the student wanted to equip themselves, not only research scholar wanted to identify an innovative idea, as a faculty member, we also wanted to enhance our knowledge so that we can survive in this society without any problem. So that is the reason why I wanted to highlight this roadmap. So first, we should know what are the Python libraries and R programming which is available, right? We should understand clearly how it is functioning, libraries and all functioning. Different libraries are there. So at the end of this session, we will see what are the different libraries and its functionality. And after understanding all the libraries in R programming as well as Python, so we need to understand where or how or when we wanted to apply this artificial intelligence, machine learning technique as well as deep learning technique. So we should have a basic knowledge about this artificial intelligence, machine learning as well as deep learning. And apart from that, so we should know, we wanted to process our information where it has some mathematical calculations, and we wanted to perform some prediction analysis, means we need to understand the basic concept of statistical analysis. So we wanted to understand what is the background mathematical or statistical tool or methodology that has been available, and we should know those statistical tools and as well as methodologies. So here, after understanding the statistics, so we are going to perform a data analysis. So we know very well that it is a very large amount of data we wanted to process. So here we wanted to perform the wrangling and visualization of data. So what is the meaning of wrangling? Wrangling as well as cleansing, both are same. That is nothing but the cleaning of data. So there may be a chances that there are some unwanted information or noise, or we can say that errored data are available in the database. So we wanted to clean those database, and sometimes we wanted to perform a dimensionality reduction also, because I'm having a very huge database and it consists of enormous amount of features, right? Let us assume that a database will consist of 30 or 40 features. So I need only 15 features for extracting or predicting the information. So in that case, I wanted to identify which features are very, very important, and those features can be identified. And another important concept of data analysis is it has to be visualized. So dear participant, we know very well that if I am giving you a table and by giving a number, numerical values, then you will be little bit tired by using or by understanding the concept. If suppose I am presenting the same data in a visual manner, right? So you will be understanding very clearly. So we know very well that our human brain is understanding textual information is very late compared to image. So that is the reason why everything will be given in the form of visualized manner. So that aspects the participants should know, right? So what is data analysis, how we can do the ranking, and how this data can be projected in a visual manner. That is also wanted to understand by the participants. And also another important thing is, I told we are using or we are dealing in day-to-day life, in each and every application we will be generating enormous amount of data. So those data will be stored in somewhere else, is it not? So if suppose the sufficient memory is not available in my system, and simply I can store it in my cloud environment, whenever it is necessary I can retrieve and I can process the information. So that is the reason why we should know how to store in the cloud environment and how to process the information which is available in the cloud and whenever it is necessary. So we should have a basic knowledge about big data processing. And another important thing is problem solving. So I know what are the Python libraries or programming available. I am having a basic knowledge of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data learning, deep learning, and I know the statistical tool and how to process my data, everything I know, and how to store the information in big data and retrieval. All these things I know, but I do not know the methodology to solve the problem. Then there comes the it is a very challenging process. So here the user or the participants or the students or the research scholars should know how to solve the problem. Whenever you are approaching a problem, you should identify different solutions, and from that solution which can be enhanced further, that has to be analyzed by means of problem solving methodologies, and then you wanted to distribute in your resume, so that whenever the HR people receives your resume, and here until now the human is behaving as a HR person, he is going to analyze your resume and he is going to select. Nowadays, hereafter, right, everything will be done by machine. So artificial intelligence based machine will select your resume. So whatever the thing which we have discussed as a roadmap, so those things should be highlighted in your resume so that the machine will select your resume and you can become a data scientist. So my dear participants, please focus this area to achieve greater heights in your future. So for that purpose, I have given this roadmap here. And another important thing is, what are the top 10 technology which is going to focus in this future, right? So this is the statistical report given by Gartner. So from the introduction itself, I told it is a research agency. So it is helping business people to identify what is the future which is going to dominate in this world. So here, as far as Gartner is concerned, so there are so many applications are there. So the best example is people-centric. So here the people-centric application or technology which is going to understand through the program the evolution of data, how we are going to process our data through machine, that is called people-centric technology. And hyper automation. So here everything is machine based, everything is automated through machine. So it is a combination of tools including a robots, right, a robotic process automation, intelligent business management software, and AI, with the goal of increasingly AI driven decision making. So here, so all the tools, everything will be integrated together with artificial intelligence for making a decision. So that is the concept behind hyper automation. And another important thing is human augmentation. This is the next technology where it is a human technologies that enhance human productivity or capability, and it is added with our human body, right, eyeglasses, pacemakers, right. So wearable devices, those are coming under human augmentation to enhance the processing capability of the human. And the third one is empowered edge. So it is empowering the computer. That is, we know very well that everything will be in a centralized manner, and if it is in centralized manner, we cannot able to store all information, so that we will be going for a distributed environment. So the system itself will identify where my data is stored and how to integrate the data and how to process the data, how to understand the important features, and it will process. That is called as a empowered edge. And here we will be having a multi experience. That is another important technology. It will simply an app that work on various touch points and devices, so allowing the company to test and improve their user experience on new platform with limited investment. So whenever I need, I can test, right? I need not purchase that product. I can use that product app for testing my data. So for that purpose, I can able to use. That is called multi experience. And here you will be having transparency and traceability. So here it is nothing but it is having a different action, supporting technologies and practices designed to address regulatory requirement, preserve ethical approach to use artificial intelligence. So how to use this artificial intelligence in an ethical manner, that will be discussed, or that will be deal with this transparency and trackability. And another important technology, right, practical blockchain. So here no need of human intervention in banking sector. So you know very well, the best example is the banking sector, right? No human intervention is required. So everything is done by using a best example is cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, right? The whole structure of blockchain enable a digital ledger. So the posting of debit credit posting, everything will be done by machine, not by human being. So it is maintaining and sharing in the network and between distributed nodes. So it is not necessary everything will be stored in one that is one centralized location. It can be distributed any location. While posting in the ledger, it will be recollected from a distributed center and it will update. So that is the advantage of having this practical blockchain. So that these are the different technologies which is going to dominate in future. And here there are driving forces, top 10 driving technologies I told. So there are some other technology, you know very well what is IoT, and I already told what is wearable technology, and I also highlighted what is chatbots. It is using a natural language processing, right, integrated with artificial intelligence, and it will mimic the user. And also I discussed about big data, so where we can store our data in a cloud environment. Whenever it is necessary, the system itself will retrieve the information and process. So there is no human intervention is necessary. And I also told what is edge computing, and here blockchain methodology and intelligent spaces, right? It is very, very important one. So here how to deal with intelligent spaces and how to identify that. For example, I am in office and before I am going to home, and automatically whenever I am reaching home, before reaching home, my air condition is switched on, and according to my brain activity or my status, the temperature will be increased or decreased. Everything is done by using a intelligent spaces. And extended reality, we know virtual reality and augmented reality, it is a combination of both, that is called extended reality. And genome editing, this is a very, very important technology which is we are going to focus in future. That is here, so we need not go to doctor. So if there is a problem in our DNA structure, and that DNA will be identified and that will be replaced with a new DNA without having any diseases. So these type of that is called genome editing. So these type of technology is going to introduce in the market, so that we can enjoy the facility. At the same time, please remember, it will replacing a human being, right? And this is, you can see, this is a cobot. We know very well what is robot, but here this is called cobot, right? It is along with human, the robot is going to work as a co-worker. That is the reason why it is called as a cobot. And you know what is natural language processing. So these are the technologies right, which is going to dominate in future. And here there are several companies that are already dominated in this AI based technology. So you can see that Amazon, right, Google, Facebook, Alibaba, Microsoft, these and all we know very well, right? So here the new, right, companies within short period of time, within 4 or 5 years, they have dominated like anything, right? This is a Tesla, right? They have introduced a driverless car, and you can see that Pokemon, right? Each and every children is playing this. So you do not know, right? 5 to 6 times their investment increases. The revenue generated by Pokemon is that much high because of AI based technology. And here this is the Swift. Swift is the company which is helping the doctor to perform an analysis, right? Medical analysis. It is helping or giving a suggestion for making a decision, before making a decision. And this AI based technology will help the doctor to prescribe medicine for the patient. So here we will be having a precision medicine. So for those things, this Swift type of AI based company is helping. So these are the technology, or these are the companies which is dominating currently, as well as in future also it is going to dominate. And here you can see, so this is the statistical report from 2014 to 2017. You can see after February 2014, right, how many number of AI based company increases, and you see the revenue that has been generated by these companies, more than $1 billion. So within a short span of time, that is 14 to 17, I told it is 14 to 17, within a short span of 3 years, they have generated more than $1 billion, right? The company which is surviving in this society for more than 15 years, those people cannot able to dominate, but within 3 years, these people are dominating and generating more than $1 billion revenue. So that is the reason, right, we are focusing artificial intelligence now, right? And these are the top 32 companies which is announced by unicorns, right? And here you can see the current valuation of these companies. I told 1 billion, you can see the company and their current valuation, right? It is more than, I think it is crosses more than 3, or you can see that 2.6 and several, right, 75. So you can from this analysis, you can simply understand how this artificial intelligence is dominating. And there are 4 different waves that are identified in artificial intelligence starting from 1998, right? The first wave is internet data. So we will be processing our data, we are collecting a data from a different locations. For that, in 1998 it was called as internet data. And second wave started in the year 2004, and for commercial data, right, they have introduced a commercial data. And 2011 everything is digitized, and here it is called as a digitized real world. And fourth generation, or we can say that fourth wave, is 2015 it is started, and everything is full automation. You can see that Tesla, Uber, right, so many companies dominated for full automation. So everything, 1998 itself the artificial intelligence wave started, and further it is growing enormously. So coming to the topic, so what we have discussed is what is the status of artificial intelligence. Now how we can cope up with this artificial intelligence is very, very essential. So that is the reason why this webinar is organized, and I will start the session by giving a basic knowledge about artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning. So we know very well that what is the meaning of conventional way of computation. So whenever you are doing a conventional way of computation, we will identify what is the logic behind this problem, and based on the logic we will develop the code, and then we will pass the input to the logic or the code which is generated, and we will be getting the output. This is the way in which the traditional software tool will function. But what is the difference between traditional software and AI based tool? So as far as AI based tool is concerned, it is having a thinking capability to predict the model. So it has a human brain, like human brain, it will think and it will predict the outcome. That is the basic difference between the conventional way of computation and AI based methodology. So whenever you are predicting anything, it will focus more towards getting accuracy, the optimized accuracy. So for example, if you are driving a vehicle, driverless car, right? So it has to understand the environment, and if any cars are coming, then it has to make a alarm. So all these things are called as a prediction accuracy, and that accuracy should be in an optimized manner. That is called autonomous vehicle. So machine learning from human being and especially to perform a task. So here what is the difference between AI and machine learning is, so here AI is nothing but it is thinking like human being, and machine learning is nothing but whatever the instruction given by the human being which will be carried out by machine learning. So that is the basic difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence. So when you talk about the basic definition of artificial intelligence, it has been mentioned that it is a branch of computer science. So I am sorry, and we cannot say now this, it is a branch of computer science. It is a fusion technology, or we can say it is a hybridization, because not only computer science alone is going to use AI. In future, all other departments, whether it is a mechanical, mechatronics, or any department, ECE, EEE, all department need to run with the help of artificial intelligence. So that only I told, it is my perception, it is not associated with computer science alone. And whenever you are talking about artificial intelligence, so it emphasizes the development of intelligent machines, and it will think as a human being, and it will discover the meaning behind the each and every statements. And another important concept is it learns from past experiences. So it is simply simulating human, is it not? So whenever we commit any mistake, right, what we will do, whenever we are doing the same work next time, we will recollect that previously we have done like this, because of that mistake happened, so that this time we should not do like this, we wanted to do it correctly. So the same thing will happen to machine also. It will learn, and based on the learning with the past experiences, it will perform. And another important concept is learning by trial and error. So we know very well, that is the reason why I told, right, human can commit mistake first time, in first attempt, and they can modify, right, they will understand what is a mistake they have they have done in previous time, and based on that they can change it. So that is the same thing can be performed by machine also, learning by trial and error. And here we know very well that artificial intelligence is involved in all types of activities. So in smartphone it is there, and cars, banks, industry, and digital marketing, hospital, everywhere we are talking about artificial intelligence. But there is a thing, that is, it is predicted that around 75% of world job is no more by 2030. Are you scared about this? It is true. And also we do not know, so what type of job will exist in 2030, right? And how we are going to cope up with this artificial intelligence. Totally it is going to replace human. So don't worry. That is the reason why we are conducting these type of webinars, so that you can jump into artificial intelligence. We can develop a model. So beyond that, there is a God, right, who will help us to survive in this society. But there is no doubt in that the artificial intelligence is going to rule the world in 2030. So why we are saying like that? So how we can say that it is going to dominate the world? Because so here artificial intelligence facilitate to perform human skills. So the entire human skills are extracted by artificial intelligence and simply replacing human. So our presence is not at all required. That is the reason why I told in 2030, right, 75% of job will not be there. what type of job it will be there in 2030 also we could not predict. So here when it extract the features of human being, so here it will have a physical skills and cognitive skills. So you know very well what is the meaning of cognitive skill. It is simply a brain based skills are called as a cognitive skills, and it will perform better than human being. And the upskilling and reskilling, we are thinking until now upskilling and reskilling is associated with human being. The machine also can perform upskilling and reskilling. How it is possible? Upskilling can be done by using the learning methodology, and reskilling is nothing but trial and error. So with that, the artificial intelligence machine will perform upskilling and reskilling process. So almost AI is touching all the areas. We cannot say that in this area AI is not there, right? Even a small amount, even not 1% AI will be there in each and every application. So that is the way in which the artificial intelligence is dominant. So when you talk about the history of artificial intelligence, the seed posted for this artificial intelligence is called Alan Turing, who is a mathematician who integrated mathematics with artificial intelligence in 1950. And that time itself they have introduced a course on machine intelligence course. See that in 1950 itself they have introduced machine based intelligence course in the university. And afterwards, the 1957 to 1974 AI was flourished, and we know very well that John McCarthy is called as a father of artificial intelligence. Everybody knows, right? It was emerged in the year 1957 to 74, and then we got 1980 onwards. We are having an expert system, and AI is introduced in everywhere. Afterwards, after 2000, right, AI is introduced in all sectors: banking, marketing, entertainment, medicine, right, engineering. In all field, this artificial intelligence is introduced. So what is the current and future technology? So as far as current and future technology is concerned, so here there are enormous application on autonomous vehicle, so autonomous supply chain management, and especially for disease prediction and cancer pattern classification. For these, they are still doing a research and enhancing the accuracy of the research, and that is considered as a current and future technology. And generally when you talk about the types of artificial intelligence, the first one is called as a narrow intelligence, where this expert system and speech recognizers are introduced in the narrow intelligence. It is why it is called narrow intelligence, in the sense it is focused that particular application alone. That is the reason why it is called as a narrow intelligence. And afterwards, this artificial intelligence, the second type is called a broad artificial intelligence, where the integrated approach has been slowly introduced. I will tell you how this integration has been done, right? And the third one is artificial general intelligence, which we are using now, right? Smart model, adapting to new problem and behaving like human being, that are coming under artificial general intelligence. And last category is artificial super intelligence. It is thinking like human being or beyond human being and self-programming. So that is the reason why I told no human intervention is required. And here the artificial intelligence, people are saying or people are predicting, the statistical analysis says that it is performing like anything, right? Multiple number of you can say that the human behavior and artificial intelligence or machine behavior, they are saying that when you compared with human behavior, the artificial intelligence based machine will be performing multiple number of times greater than human. This is going to happen in future. So that is called artificial super intelligence. So, and these are the several areas I already told. It is artificial intelligence is explored. So along with human, you can see that you will be having the integration has been done by the robots. So here from this you can understand that the human intervention is very less. So whatever we are speaking and machine will understand, it will convert to text or text to voice. That is possible, and it will mimic as a user or the person, human being. That is also possible. So these are the areas the artificial intelligence is exploring. And here you can see the classic behind this artificial intelligence. So here you can see different things can be integrated together and it can able to predict. That is the highlight of this artificial intelligence. So here from this image you can see that a girl is sitting on a bench holding an umbrella. So the machine has to understand, or it has to predict a girl is sitting and where she is sitting in the bench and what she is holding, what is the color combination and what is the dress she is wearing. So everything has to be predicted by machine, right? It has to tell, right? So this is the thing which is happening in artificial intelligence. Here you can see that the sheep is grazing on a hillside. So it has to predict it is a hillside, the background, right? The blue color, white color, the cloud color and the greenery, the hills has to be predicted and sheep has to be predicted. It has to be trained in such a way that several features has been integrated together. Even then the machine will predict that sheep is grazing on a lush green hillside. It has to say like this. So how it can be done? So this is an example for understanding that the artificial intelligence is explored in such a way. And I told, right, it is the wave, right, how it has been integrated, fusion technology or hybrid mechanism. Initially we are trying to integrate the computer environment. So you know very well what is a computer environment. So it is a combination of hardware, software and application, right? So later on, along with computing environment, we have introduced a communication technology. So this is the second fusion, right? Fusion or hybridization, both are same. And then along with the computing or communication technology, we have introduced the control technology, right? So monitoring and controlling everything can be introduced. So because of this, there are so many number of artificial intelligence applications were developed. So for example, 3D printing and the nano robot. So this is very essential. We can see the diagram in next slide. So it will be used, the medical practitioner will use this nano robot to perform operations. And autonomous vehicle and this artificial intelligence based devices can be used in agriculture, right, and it is used in supply chain, right. So in autonomous train, already they have tested driverless train, and here they have tested in US, and it is tested for 30 kilometers and they have got a successful results. So here everything is done because of the fusion technology. You can see this here, it is a driverless car. So this is called a nano robot, which is performing an operation, identifying a block in the heart, and you can see that artificial intelligence based drone which is performing a sprayer acting as a sprayer in a field, right. And you can see that the AI based machine is helping for supply chain management and integration of, this is the domination of internet, IoT, right, internet of things, which is integrating all devices surrounding us, and 3D printing. So in almost all applications, this artificial intelligence is dominating. So coming to the enhancement of artificial intelligence, we can say that artificial intelligence is superset, and within that we are having a subset of machine learning and deep learning. So here, as far as this machine learning is concerned, so here whatever the instruction given by the human being, which will be understood by the machine and it will perform. It is a subfield of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, where we are having an algorithm and statistical model used by machine to perform a specific task, right. And here another subfield of machine learning is called as a deep learning. So here it is performing or training in such a way that, or learning in such a way that, right, it will improve the accuracy for our system. That is the concept behind deep learning, right? It is a subset of what? Machine learning, and it will be, the learning will happen in multiple number of time, so that the accuracy of the system has been tuned in such a way it has to give a optimized result, right? So here when you talk about machine learning and its type, right? So why I have switched over from artificial intelligence to machine learning? So artificial intelligence is nothing but, so here it will, machine will act like a human being. So machine learning alone is using an algorithm and all things, and it will be predict or designed in such a way that machine tries to learn by itself without being explicitly programmed on each and every instruction. So here it is classified into three types. One is called supervised learning, the second one is unsupervised learning, and third one is reinforcement learning. So as far as supervised learning is concerned, it is working on the principle of labeled data. So we know very well that what are all the features are available, and here we will be getting a feedback. Who will give the feedback? For example, the student and teacher relationship. So whenever student is doing a homework and it will be submitted to the teacher will correct, and if it is anything mistake is there, then the teacher will inform to the student so that he will be recorrecting. Is it not? So this is called as a direct feedback. And here after that, with the help of the supervisor, so we can predict the outcome. That is the concept behind supervised learning. And another important the category is called unsupervised. So we do not know what are all the features, right? We can extract the feature, but we do not know whether these features are essential for predicting the output, and nobody is there or nobody is guiding us for predicting the future. There is no feedback, but we wanted to understand what is the hidden structure which is behind that. That is the right important feature of unsupervised learning, right? We do not know labels, features we cannot able to identify. After identifying feature also, we do not know whether it is important or not. Nobody is there to give that this is correct or this is wrong. We cannot have any feedback, but even then we wanted to identify or predict the hidden feature which is available in the data. That is called unsupervised learning. And third one is called as a reinforcement learning. So this is also called as a decision process, and here you will be having a reward system. So it is a stage by stage. If you complete the first one, then you will be getting this. For example, we are informing to our children, right? If you get very good marks in 10th standard, I will purchase a cycle. If you get very good marks in 12th standard, I will purchase a scooter or any bike. So this is called as a reward system. So based on every stage, the reward will be given. So if suppose he is not able to achieve the task, then again he has to learn and perform, practice, right? So that is nothing but the series of action involved in before getting an output. That is called as a reinforcement learning. So these things only I have explained previously. So before going to discuss in detail about this supervised learning, just you can see this video. So from this video you can understand. from this video we can understand that this robot machine is performing all the tasks. It identify what are the ingredients required for doing an omelette. Not only that, it is having a 100% precision of taking an omelette and putting into the plate. Is it not? So here simply we cannot say that a robot is doing this. So without learning how this robot will perform all these activities. So that is the concept behind this video. And coming to the point of supervised learning, here you can see that there are a different combination of raw data. So you know very well what is the meaning of raw data. It is a meaningless data. So here I will be having a different raw data, and these raw data will be fed into the algorithm. So where I am having a training data set, and also I am having a supervisor, so who will monitor the activity. I will be training these data by using an algorithm, and I will be getting a desired output. I will check with the supervisor. If the supervisor is saying it is correct, then I will be process my data and I will be giving an output. So this is the way in which supervised learning is working. So as far as unsupervised learning is concerned, so again I am taking a input as a raw data, and here I myself interpreting, because there is no teacher or supervisor is available. So here I do not know what is the output I require. So I am interpreting myself, I need this output, and no training data set. I myself consider some data as a training data, and I will be using some algorithm, that is unsupervised learning algorithms are there. By using the algorithm, I am going to optimize my result and it will be processed, and then I am generating the output. That is called unsupervised learning. Here no supervisor is there. I do not know what is the output I required and what are the feature has to be selected. Everything has to be interpreted, and based on the interpretation, the algorithm and processing has to be done in the case of unsupervised learning. And third one is called as a reinforcement learning. So I will be giving a input as a raw data, and here you will be having a different state, and here by using an algorithm I will be performing a different action, and that has to be done in the environment, given environment, and if it is correct, then I will be getting a reward. So this process will be continuing until all the stages I have to complete. So that is called as a model train, and then I will be getting a output, and the trained model will be giving as a output, right? So it is a apple. I wanted to declare it is a apple. So stage by stage, right? Each and every stage will have a reward, and if suppose you don't get a reward, you wanted to backtrack. That is again you wanted to learn. So here you can understand from this image. First we will be taking a data set. The entire data set will be splitted into training data and testing data, and then after training we will be doing a cross validation with testing data, and then after testing or after validation we are confirming that the result is correct or not. This is the process in which this reinforcement learning is performed. So the next one is very important concept, or this is the area which is going to dominate in future, that is nothing but the deep learning. I already told it is evolved from machine learning. So we know very well that the multiple number of training has to be done with the help of neural network concept, or we can say it is a layered architecture which uses artificial neural network, and it is a concept inspired by biological neural network. How our brain, human brain is working, the same way the deep neural network will works, right? So it has different types of deep neural networks, right, as well as the convolution neural network, and you will be having a GAN architecture. So those things we will discuss in the last day in detail. And before getting into pre-processing, I would like to give a comparison between artificial intelligence, machine learning versus deep learning with the help of data science. So we know very well we will be having a raw data, and these data has to be stored somewhere else. So for that we are using a data science, enormous data. Then we wanted to clean the data, cleaning and mugging. I already told mugging, cleaning, wrangling, everything is same, right? Removing unwanted data and identifying the good data or essential data. And then we wanted to describe those data. That will be taken care by this data science. And as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, it will perform a learning. That too, the learning will occur based on knowledge base, and also it will based on the knowledge base. So the learning will take place and it will have different types of interference, and from the interference we wanted to take a decision. So this is called artificial intelligence. So here, by using this artificial intelligence, we are going to build the model. So before building the model in machine learning, again we wanted to cleanse the data. And for cleansing and preparing the data, and then after cleansing and preparing the data, we wanted to build the model, and that model has to be evaluated in the case of machine learning. And here, as far as deep learning is concerned, so after building the model, after doing the evaluation, so we wanted to extract the feature, we wanted to optimize the result. So that is the reason why the feature extraction and grouping all requirement together or all the features together, and then it wanted to evaluate and improvise the accuracy. So we will be getting accuracy in machine learning, right? That has to be enhanced in the deep learning. That is the reason why, right, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning are having the integration. This is the comparison view of all these things. So here, whenever we are having a data, and it will be stored in databases, and before taking that data for analysis, it has to be go into several steps. It has to be processed into several steps. So the first thing is we wanted to define why we need this data analysis, and we wanted to identify what is our requirement. That is the first step. And based on the requirement, the second step is we wanted to collect the data from different sources. So don't think that the required data will be available in a single source, right? It will be available in a different sources. So those things has to be collected, right? That is called begin collecting data from different sources. So after collecting the data, we wanted to clean the data. That is, we wanted to remove the unnecessary data, noisy data, and then we wanted to identify what are the important data that is needed for analyzing. And after that, in the fourth step, we are going to analyze our data, and then after analyzing, we are going to interpret the result which we got, and then we wanted to apply for prediction purpose. So these are the steps that has to be analyzed. And data analytic process in the second session, right, Sir will discuss in detail about different types of data analytics and how to do this with hands-on with Python. So here we will stop this data analytics, and then we will go for pre-processing. So you know what is the meaning of pre-processing. I already told pre-processing is nothing but the cleaning of data, integration of data. So from the different sources it has to be integrated. And third one is data transformation. So each and every data may be in different format, right? So we wanted to apply a transformation, and we wanted to group all data into a single format. And then sometimes we wanted to perform a data reduction, because the dimensionality of the data is very huge. In that case, we cannot be able to predict the result or output in a proper manner. So we wanted to extract only the important features, that is called as a data reduction. So as far as today's section is concerned, we are focusing this data cleaning. So how we can perform these activities by using a Python libraries. So I already told we are going to discuss the hands-on with the Python libraries, where we are going to perform a data cleaning process, and I am going to focus only missing data. So how to fill the missing data here. So here, why people are preferring Python libraries, and people are frequently asking what is the basic difference between Python and R, right? So Python is considered as a general purpose tool, but R is especially used for statistical analysis. So all the features which is available in R is also available in Python, but integrating with the different libraries are very easy in Python compared to R. That is the reason why people are preferring Python. So it is having a huge collection of library, and it is very simple and easy to use, and it will produce more productivity in the case of outcome. And another important concept is it is portability is the another reason. And when you compare with any other high level languages, C, Java, C++, Python is simply, or it is easy to learn. So that is the reason why people are preferring Python libraries. So when you talk about different libraries, so these are the different libraries available in Python: Pandas, NumPy, SciPy, Scrappy, Matplotlib, Seaborn, Scikit-learn, and very important library TensorFlow and Scikit-image. So these are the libraries which is available in Python. So as far as NumPy is concerned, it is especially used for numerical analysis, and Pandas is used for tabular data handling, tabular data in a faster manner, right? So it is an add-on package. And whenever I already told, when you give a data, then it will be very tough for people to understand, but when you visualize the information, people will easily understand. For that purpose, this Matplotlib will be used. And Seaborn is also associated with Matplotlib for providing the trends and relations, outliers of the visualized data. And another important advantage of interpreter or the Python editor is Jupyter Notebook, which will help. We are going to see now how we are going to run our requirement in Jupyter Notebook. And also the SciPy, right? So it is a scientific computing package of Python, and Scrappy is another tool which will extract information from website. And Scikit-learn, so it is a machine learning tool especially used in classification, regression and clustering model. And for image processing, we are having a Scikit-image. And Librosso, this is another important package which is used for performing music, is audio and video analysis. And here I told, especially for deep learning, we are going to use TensorFlow and Keras. The basic difference between TensorFlow and Keras is, so as far as Keras is concerned, so it is a neural network library, right? But TensorFlow can be integrated with any other library to process the data. That is the advantage of TensorFlow compared to Keras. So these are the things which we are going to discuss. If there is any discussion regarding any questionnaire regarding what we have discussed, we can go for question and answer session. Then we can go for hands-on session. Shall I proceed to hands-on? Wait a minute. I will do a hands-on session. Just I am loading Python library. I will load. So just I told Jupyter Notebook is the interpreter. So just I am loading Jupyter Notebook. Wait a minute. So it will be in this Jupyter Notebook. It is called as IDE, interactive environment, where all our commands can be given in this, and immediately it will respond you as an output. That is the reason why it is called interactive. So whenever I am asking, immediately my students are responding. The same way, this Jupyter Notebook is also responding to my queries. Immediately it will respond. That is the reason why it is called as an interactive. Just I am loading. Already I have loaded my input for presentation purpose. All my commands already I have loaded. So I am just showing this. See this. all the libraries, numerical values, pandas, cbond, what we have discussed, everything I have imported, and just I am running, control enter, right? It is executed. You can see here the star mark, right? So just before going to that, I wanted to remove that 1 minute output, clear all cells output, so that you can easily understand what is displayed. Now I am having query alone in my screen. So now just I am going to execute this. So this is, I am going to use a control enter for execution purpose. It will display the directories, right? Whatever the directories and files which is contained in this directories, that will be executed. Now what I am doing, I am having a data related to heart disease prediction as a CSV file. So CSV is nothing but simply whatever the features which is stored in Excel can be converted as a CSV file. Simply save as, you select the option of CSV, it will be stored. Excel file can be converted into CSV. So the expansion of CSV is comma separated value. So the system will understand the common format. So here all the files should be in the form of CSV. The data file should be in the form of CSV. So that is the meaning of CSV here. So just I am loading this data clean heart.csv into my data frame called DF. Right? Just I am executing. I have executed. Now I wanted to list, if suppose I have given n rows equal to 30. If suppose I didn't give this statement, the entire data set which is available in this data clean heart.csv will be listed. For understanding purpose, just I am showing you only the top 13 statement records. You can see that here 0 to 12. Here since I have given n rows equal to 13, here 13 records alone has been shown, and these are called as a features of this data clean heart CSV file. So here 13 records alone will be displayed, and here the column represent the features associated with this data file. Then I am checking whether this data file is having any null values. So for that purpose, I already stored my data into data frame called DF. So I am calling that DF and I am checking whether it is null or not. Any null data is available or not. You can see in all places it is false. There are some places it has been shown as true. That means in that position the null value is there. You can see the 6th row second call and 7th row this call. So here and all true is there. So here null value is there. So please understand, before executing my data or before processing my data for prediction analysis, all the null value has to be removed. So I wanted to count how many number of null values are available in the database. So for that I am going to use this null command along with sum. So it will tell you, as far as age is concerned, 1 null value is there. Cholesterol is concerned, 2 null value is there. Maximum HR is concerned, 1 null value is there. Like that it is going to display. So here what I am giving, so all the missing values, n/a or NA or NP, NAN, these are the category or called as coming under the category of missing value. If any one of the thing is there, then I am asking this to display. So again I am showing, I am asking to sum up all these type of combination. See here when I use this alone, so it will tell you null alone, it will tell you age wise, age, cholesterol as well as maximum HR. So I am checking whether n/a is there, NA is there. So np.nan, not a numerical value. NA is nothing but not a numerical value. So here it will tell you the age column, either it may be n/a or NA or NP, NAN. So like that these values are available as a null value. So here summing this statement and any both are same. So it is also will give you the same result. but in the case of false or true. So here it is given the numerical value. Here it will be telling that any null value is there, then it will be highlighted as true. Then so based on that, we know we are very comfortable if suppose it is showing in heat map, right, visual manner. So that I am using a heat map to show this, right, null value visualization. You can see here this yellow color bar represent wherever the null value is present in my database. So this is highlighting, right. You can see that in age, right. So null value is there, cholesterol null value is there, maximum HR null value is there. So from this heat table or heat map we can understand where and all this null value is present. So another, the same heat map will be used and it will be representing by means of zeros and ones. You can see the diagram of this one. So here you can see the entire row is having a null value. So 1 1 stands for null value, 0 represent it is a correct value, right. So now again I am calling this df to understand the actual data. Then for processing my data, always you can keep the original file with you and you process with different file, so that the original file will be retained for future use. If any mistake arises, that can be rectified by using a original file. That is the reason why whatever the content which is present in df, I will be storing in df1 for further processing. So simply I am assigning. So the same file which is available in df will be stored in df1, right. I am going to call drop na. So drop na means wherever here you can compare that this second record 0 1 2 second record having a NaN value, so that will be removed. Drop means we are going to drop those particular lines which is having a missing value. So here 4, right, 7, right, here 10. So all those lines will be dropped. But whether it is correct, see here if you remove like this, right, we will be reducing the data size very less, right, or too much reduction of data. So we don't want to do like this. Then what we can do? Let us wait. We will see how we can process. Again I am storing this data in df1. I am running this data. I am taking the original data, right. So here I am loading this hot file in df3, and here I am going to identify the missing value, right, by using a na/na or npnan, and I am going to execute, right, any value is there, right. I am going to drop all the values, right. So here what I am going to do is multiple number of time I am storing the data, because for preserving the originality of the file, right. So wherever this na is there, so in that place simply I am going to fill the value as 0, right. So see here when I executing this command, this is the actual file with missing values or the incorrect values. I am going to execute fill na with 0. So wherever you found nan, it will be replaced by 0. So just you can see here, best you take this example, 6th row, that age column, you can see 6th row age column, it is filled with 0. But whether it is correct, whether we can fill all the, right, non-available value as 0, how come we say that age is 0? So this is not a correct method. So in that case how we can process? So the first method which we can process is, instead of filling 0, we can go for ffill. Ffill stands for forward fill, right. Whatever the value which is available in the previous record, which will be forwarded to next record. So as far as this example is concerned, if you take this, the second record age column, the previous value is 67, the same 67 will be filled here, right. Here the fourth record, the previous value is 37, that will be filled here. Now I will execute, we will see. See, I told the second, that is the first record, the age is 67, the same value will be forwarded to next. It is NAN now, that will be replaced by 67. And third record 37, the fourth one is NAN, that 37 will be forwarded to the fourth record. Am I correct? So in this way you can use a forward fill, right? So again I am loading for going for understanding another method. So I am making the entry as 0 for clarity purpose. Now I can go for backward fill. It is also possible. So I will tell you what is backward fill. You can see that. So here you take the second record, the age column is 0. So by using a backward fill, whatever the value which is available in the next record, right, the third record, the 37, that will be filled here. So here as far as fourth record is concerned, 56, that will be filled in fourth record. And the sixth record is 0, 57 will be filled. That is called as a backward fill. Now I will execute this. You can see that. See here. So we can check with the second record. So what the value we wanted to get? Backward fill 37. We will see whether it is there. Yes. Second record, the age is 37. So here what we have studied? We have studied how to fill with 0 and how to fill with forward fill and how to fill with backward fill. Now there is very important method which is called as interpolate. Before using this one, I am making every non-available column as 0 for visualization purpose. Right, here you can see all the NAN values are filled with 0. Now I am going to execute interpolate. You see the answer, then I will come back how we got it. See this here. So where we got second row, third column, we got 0. So here it is 52. How it comes? So here as far as this interpolate mechanism is concerned, it is adding previous and afterwards data. So you add 67 plus 37. So how much? It is 104. And it will take a average. So that is 104 divided by 2, that is 52. That is the concept behind interpolate. So the previous value and the forward value and backward value will be added together and divided. The mean value is calculated and that value will be acting as a value for that the NAN column. So in this way the interpolate method is also functioning. Just I am filling again 0. And here there is another option is also available. So wherever the NAN is there, in that case I will be making age is 50. That is also possible. So here you can see as far as age column is concerned, wherever it found NAN, it will be replaced with 50. So all the unfilled or we can say NAN value, it will be replaced with 50. This is also possible. So again I am making it as 0 for understanding purpose, for clarity. Then I can group, different type of chest pains are available. I can group, for that I have used this command. I am going to print this. You can see that I am grouping. There are 4 different classification. Asymptotic is there, normal is there, and non-angelical is there, and non-typical is there. These are the 4 different classification available. So based on classification, under chest pain, you can see here under chest pain you can find out different classification. Based on classification, the grouping can be done. And especially I am focusing asymptotic alone. So it will be extracting only asymptotic. So here non-angelical alone, only one record is there. So it is grouping. And here you can see that again I am calling this chest pain as far as grouping is concerned. The mean value will be calculated for all the classes. So asymptotic class, non-angelical class, non-typical class and typical class. So it can be done as a group, mean value is calculated. So we know very well that more asymptotic is there. So that is the reason why the mean value of asymptotic is high. So frequently you store it in some other variable for preserving your actual data. So group classification again that can be done, and another important factor is describe. So here you can see that the total number of count and as well as based on chest pain I am going to describe. So 4 category under this one, totally 96 columns are there, and the mean value is calculated, standard deviation is calculated, and also what is the minimum value, the 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 75 percentile, maximum value, all these things can be calculated for the classification alone. That is also possible. And another important thing is, if any duplicate value is there, that is also removed. I will show you how it can be done. See here, the last column I have added this column for your understanding purpose. Here you can have Rajesh, and second record name is Ravi. So you found out any the person is there same with the same name. Yes, Rajesh is there, and you can see Raghu is available in twice, and I think Ravi is also there. So you can see Ravi is also there. So the same thing, right? Same person data is available in more than one time. So here I wanted to identify that record and I wanted to remove that. So I am checking whether duplicate is there. Yes, true, right? True means the duplicate is there. But simply by age is same, because of that we cannot remove. And FBS duplicate is there. Yes, right? That is also not possible to remove based on FBS. But only unique identity can be used, same register number or same name. Right? Even same name cannot be registered, because with the same name more than one person can be there. For understanding purpose I have used the same name, and I wanted to show you how to remove. Right? So it is, I am checking whether with the name duplication is there. Since here you can see Rajesh, it is not showing. Right? The reason is, the first one we cannot say duplicate. The subsequent one with the same name, here only we can show the duplicate. So that is the reason why here it is not showing. But as far as this 8th record is concerned, it will show. See that? Right? You can see here, right? True. That is 8th record, that is 0 to 7. 7th record it is showing, it is true. And 10th record is also having duplication. And 12th record is also having duplication. So here Rajesh, Ravi as well as Raghu. So these are the 3 records duplication is there. So we wanted to remove that. You can see now. You can see here Rajesh, Ravi, and we know very well that the 7th record it is not there, 8th record is not there, the Raghu, right, this last one 11 and 12, 11th one is not there, 8th one is not there, is it not? Right? So here these records are removed because it is having a duplication in name. So dear participants, so right before winding up, I would like to summarize what we have discussed. As far as this session 1 is concerned, we started with the roadmap for achieving data scientist, and what are the top technologies available, and next one is we have discussed which companies are dominating in short span, and also we discussed different types of waves in artificial intelligence, and we discussed what is AI, machine learning and deep learning, and the different types of machine learning, and also we discussed right how supervised learning, unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning is functioning, and also we discussed why we need data pre-processing and how to do this data pre-processing with Python libraries, and also discussed different types of Python libraries and where these Python libraries are used, and also today and also we have discussed how to process our data to remove the unwanted or missing data, and how to make our database in a clear database for further processing will be discussed today. I hope you enjoy the session. Any queries you just put it in your chat box so that I can clarify your doubt. Thank you very much. Thank you for patient listening. Thank you one and all.